Recipes are terrible for new cooks. Let me explain. I want to convince you to ditch recipes and follow me down a different path. And we're making a burger along the way. Cooking is about making food you love and having fun making it. I want to show you how to understand cooking like your favorite chefs so that you can use what you have lying around and swap things out just like they do. I want you to be like that grandma who never knows the measurements but always makes the best food. I want cooking to be enjoyable for you, something that you look forward to. Recipes try really hard to boil down cooking into clear steps, but it's obvious when the format fails. Sometimes you get extremely specific instructions that have all the answers. Use precisely 6 ounces of 80/20 ground beef, form them into 4 1/2 inch wide discs, then cook them in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. But then you run into the other kind of instruction.
Hey, don't forget to season the patties with salt. I don't know how much to taste. It's done when it gets that brown crust thing. You'll know it when you see it.
You get trained to expect hyper-specifics and then get sucker punched by unhelpful generalities. Cooking is creative, fun, unpredictable. You use your judgment and personal taste. But in recipe world, you're told to follow the directions. Following a recipe feels a lot like building a Lego set. You got your list of parts, those are the ingredients and the measurements, and then you've got your assembly steps. Those are the instructions. You buy all the listed ingredients and follow all of the steps exactly as written, and the promise is that you're going to end up with perfect food, just like is pictured on the box. I love Legos, and this is exactly how building a Lego set works, but it is not how cooking works, and it's holding you back. First, you're never working with the exact same materials when you cook. If a Lego brick comes out of the factory different than expected, they reject it. When ingredients have variation, that's life. Here, check it out. I bought 3 packages of ground beef, all the same specs, and you can tell just by how they look that they're pretty different. It's going to change how they cook. You don't have to be able to predict exactly how. What's important is that you respect the variability. The delicious patty that you made yesterday could have cooked in 6 minutes. Today, it could be 7 and need a little bit more salt. New cooks are attracted to recipes because they feel like simple, repeatable Lego instructions. But this is ground beef, not molded plastic. And there's variation in kitchen equipment. These 2 burners on my stove are completely different sizes, and these 2 pans heat up at totally different speeds, so what in the world does it mean if a burger recipe says medium-high heat? You have to know how to adjust the temperature based on factors deeper than a number on the dial. Imagine how frustrating it would be to follow Lego instructions if the box came with randomly sized parts. Then there's the idea of perfection. If you're trying to build what's on this box and you mess up a single instruction, it's going to come out wrong. So when you follow recipes, you're often worried that each step is an opportunity to ruin everything. But there's wiggle room in cooking. It's about ranges, not specific numbers. Say I, or a recipe, tell you to do the dreaded salt to taste. Here are 10 slices of tomatoes that I have salted from not at all to extreme. All of these are very good to me. It's not like slightly more or less is going to ruin it. And there's definitely not one measurable perfect amount of salt. If you're new to cooking, what's important isn't that you get the exact amount of salt right, if that even exists. It's that you understand that salt makes savory ingredients shine. That is a foundational principle that transcends any given recipe. When you build a Lego set, you got to follow every single step. They're all equally important. But recipes contain a mix of stuff that's crucial with stuff that's extra flair. The problem is it's really hard to tell these 2 apart if you're new. If you Google burger recipes, you'll find all sorts of stuff that you're supposed to mix directly into the meat. Stuff like breadcrumbs, eggs, yogurt, cheese, onions. If you like any of this stuff in your burger, awesome, but they are not required. A basic burger patty is just 2 things, ground beef and salt. Isn't it way simpler to think of this as a burger and then pull in anything else that you like, instead of thinking that you absolutely need all of this for it to be good? Understanding cooking fundamentals gives you the power to tell these 2 apart. Just following recipes makes it really tough. Those generic do something to taste instructions are actually truthful. You need to use your own taste and personal judgment every single time you cook. The good news is that there are a couple of these judgment calls that come up all the time. And when you embrace them, you get used to them really fast. Adding and tasting for salt, adding oil to a pan, figuring out when vegetables are done cooking, figuring out when meat's done cooking. When recipes say do something to taste, what they're really saying is this is important, but it's too hard to explain. If you're an experienced cook, hey look, no problem. But if you're starting out, it sucks. I want to show you how to actually use your five senses to make those judgment calls, which are the heart of cooking. And more good news, all this stuff interconnects. When you make a burger patty, you're learning beef cooking skills that equally apply to making a ribeye steak, and patty cooking skills that apply to turkey burgers. You'll be shocked how quickly your cooking confidence grows. You don't need a detailed set of instructions to cook this delicious cheeseburger. You need a basic understanding of how to cook ground beef. Other than that, it's deciding what you like on your burger. And yes, you need to learn how to cook ingredients so they come out the way that you like them. Nobody's born knowing how to saute onions, and if that's what you like on your burger, yeah, you gotta learn that somehow. I just think recipes fall short on the promise and can easily put you into the unhelpful perfection and failure mindset. Learn the why of cooking, embrace the challenge, and come out the other side with the power to do things the way that you like them. It's a lot more fun, too. How do you figure out what to make in the first place without recipes? Understand the underlying principles of cooking, apply those simple rules to a couple of ingredients, and then combine them into delicious meals. I call this the ingredient first approach to cooking. Take these red bell peppers. Last time I went to the grocery store, they were on sale and they looked pretty great, so I went a little crazy. Instead of finding a recipe that uses them, imagine you already know how to prepare this and similar vegetables in isolation, and then get inspired for dishes. Option 1, big charred slices. I'm using my broiler set to high. I love the character this brings out. I'm making this the star of a veggie sandwich along with fennel, hummus, and pesto. Option 2, sauteed slices, here with onions. This feels like the perfect topping on carne asada tacos, with some lime to brighten it up. Option 3, little raw squares. I love the freshness and crunch. This is inspiring me to make a Greek salad. Cucumbers, feta, olives, tomatoes, with some olive oil and red wine vinegar. 1 ingredient, 3 ways to prepare it, inspiring 3 meals, based on cooking fundamentals, not specific recipes. Welcome to my rant corner. Today's topic, trust your taste. Say you find a recipe writer who you love and you find a delicious looking recipe, you get done, dig in, and you don't like it. What now? A lot of people beat themselves up because you must have messed up the recipe, right? We have this tendency to treat recipes like they're infallible, but here's the thing. Sometimes you just don't like it. A recipe is a record of what one person likes to cook and eat, and just because you respect somebody as a chef doesn't mean that you share their same taste. Your personal taste is right 100% of the time for you. I've experimented with plenty of the recipes in the food lab, and I respect the hell out of Kenji, and I enjoy lots of his dishes. But I've made some and they just don't work for me. I think most recipe writers would be the first people to say, yeah, no problem, that's how it goes. I want you to adopt a confidence in your own ability to decide if you like something, and then let that be your guiding star. Then you'll use the power to cook to make things that you really, really love. Okay, rant over. Not ready to throw out your cookbooks? Me neither. They're great for inspiration, and many of them include helpful explanations of techniques and flavor combinations that will expand your cooking mind. We'll get to all that amazing stuff later, but for now, follow me as we learn foundational principles so that you understand how cooking works, and then basic ingredient prep so that you can easily cook for yourself and the people you love.